welcome to Out and About Art, your PGTV source for all things art in Polk County. I'm your host, Yasmin Ali. First up this month, I'd like to introduce you to an abstract artist who is dark, loud, bright, and bold. Joshua Collier was born and raised in Lakeland and views the creation of art as a necessary form of self-expression. Here's a look at the electrifying, stimulating art of Joshua Collier.
My name is Joshua Collier, and the kind of art I like to create is on the abstract side, kind of expressionism a little bit. It's fun, it's messy. A lot of my stuff is influenced by what I read, music, current events, stuff like that. Everything has a little punk rock feel because that's just who I am at the heart, and it's just an expression of me and what change that I want to make, or what statement I want to put out. A lot of my stuff is influenced by Basquiat, so there's lots of quotes and words and little punctuation lines that kind of stick out and make it a little bit more effective, I guess, and what I want to convey. When I started painting, I don't really have an idea of what I want to do. I just throw paint down. However it comes out. It could be through different ways. I build all my canvases, so I could start out with oil pastels after it's been gessoed, of course, but there can be multiple paintings on top of paintings that's coming through. So it doesn't ever, I don't plan for it to be what the final piece is, but most stuff is a work in progress. You just start. Yeah, I've looked at a canvas. That one, the one over there, the 4x4 one, I looked at that one for probably a week before I started it. And I mean, nothing that I had in mind was actually what is shown, actually. It's been changed. I start differently. Sometimes, like I said, sometimes I put it on the floor. We'll just put a solid coat. Sometimes I'll start with just multiple colors or inks. I do a lot of drippings, so a lot of times I'll start with that. Usually there's some kind of form or face. There's something like that in my work. That's usually where I would start. Sometimes it's so abstract that I start seeing little things and here and there, and I just go from there. And it takes time. Knowing when it's done, you never really feel like it's done, never. There's always something that you want to do to it, change it. Once you finally let it go, then it's done, I guess. As you see, I have multiple things spread out. I'm always constantly working on one thing or another. So I just move to another piece, or I just keep trying. I've given up in the past, and I've put it down for months. But I always come back to, I came back to it. I want them to feel something, and I can't tell them what to feel because everybody's different. It might not be the same thing that I feel when I look at the piece. It's not for everyone. I know that. I mean, I struggle with anxiety and other situations in my life, but it's just it's an outlet. It's an outlet that I can. That's just for me. That if you like it, you like it. I wanted to put it out there. Everybody's always asked me, why don't you put it out there? But it's mainly just been for me. For the past 20 years, it's my coping. It's my way to handle things. It's my way to express things, say things. That's different than the band that I play in, or the job that I do. This is all mine. This is all me, and it helps. It helps with wellness, self-wellness. I get emotionally attached to everything, to every piece. So Within the past year, I sold my first painting. These are my babies. I don't have any children. I have a dog, and I've got these. And it's really hard to sell pieces, but it's really hard for me to let go of certain pieces. There's some that, like, luckily I have stickers, or I have something that's made from the print that I have saved of pieces that I've let go that I really regret. It's just the way it looks, what I was feeling. It might not feel the same today as it did when I was making it, but just the way that it made me feel, like I really regret letting pieces go. They are my babies, and I have so many of them. So yeah, putting a price tag on stuff is a very, very, very hard thing to do. Everybody says that I sell them for too cheap, and I don't think so. I just think that it should be shared and enjoyed. I might not want to let it go. I might want to hold on to it or miss it, but I do want to share it with other people. Everybody has something to say. They might not want to say it, but everybody has something to say. And I believe that what I have to say could help somebody, could incite hope or angst or rebellion or peace or whatever they're feeling. I just want people to feel. I guess I can't think about art any other way than trying to express and state, you know, what's going on with you, or what's happening in your life, or what kind of craziness is going on in your head that, you know, you just spit out. Oh yeah, there were times when I thought that everything that I do is just garbage. I've burned, I've cut up paintings with razor blades. Yeah, I've had times when I want to quit, when I think that it's not worth it. But then next thing you know, I'm in the middle of another piece and things change. It doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, what you did before. I mean, life is gonna put you down, and you just can't give up. Art is creation, and you need that creation to thrive. We need art in the local community because it's a source of togetherness. It could bring people together. It could bond people. For the wellness of your soul, you need art. You need some kind of creation. I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for the art saving my life.
To keep up with the artwork of Joshua Collier, you can follow him on Instagram. You can also buy prints from his website, jcollierart.com. We're heading over to Winter Haven now to check out another Polk County artist. Chris Amato works at Polk State College by day and spends the rest of his time building rustic industrial lamps. Each element of his unique creations is fully functional, and you can see all of them for yourself by visiting his shop, Crow's Nest Artisanal Wares in Winter Haven. Let's take a look.
My name is Chris Amato. I am the owner and maker here at Crow's Nest Artisanal Wares. I make rustic industrial functional art utilizing 1-inch diameter black iron pipe, wood, Edison style bulbs, fabric rack cords, desk lamps, floor lamps, shelving units, all kind of furniture and accessories. I didn't expect any of this to actually happen. I was always more artistic in creative writing. I never really did anything as far as assembling or sculptural pieces or things like that. So this actually began with a need that I had for my office at my day job. My day job is at Polk State College in the Learning Technology Department. I do computer support for the online learning system. For about 5 years, I was bouncing back and forth between 2 different office spaces. And so I just never really kind of had a place to call home there at work, so I didn't really take time to have a personalized office space, things like that. And then in November of 2017, I was finally moving into a new building with a dedicated office space where I was spending my 40 hours a week. I knew I wanted to kind of set it up and just have a cool little space for those 8 hours that I was there. And I definitely didn't want to use the 4 or 5 rows of fluorescent tube lights, that were right overhead. I wanted to have some cool desk lamps, but I couldn't really find anything that I had in mind. So I just went to Lowe's, and I knew I wanted to be have industrial feel, and I knew I wanted a working valve handle, things like that. So I just started laying out pieces there in the aisle and bought the pieces, brought them home, put them together, showed my wife. She just thought it was really cool. Brought them into work, and since we were in a new area, everybody was coming to check out the space. They saw the lamps, like, those are really cool, where'd you get them? I said, well, I made them. And they said, well, now you've got to make me one. It just kind of took off from there. At first I was like, really? Because, I didn't consider myself an artist. Just made 2 lamps. To me, that was going to be the end of it. But fortunately, it's turned into something where I can really express the creative side of me that I really didn't know until recently I even had, and it just kind of exploded. I had a lot of support from colleagues at work, and of course from my family. When you get the support from your family, that's their job, is to support you, But when people you work with, or just even people who you've never met before at an event or something like that, when they come up and they start talking to you and they're so appreciative of a piece you've done or whatever, it's kind of surreal. And I'm just so grateful that they appreciate it, because everything I make, I make with intent, and I want it to be something, a piece that I would want to have in my house. And that's kind of how we ended up with a shop. I started running out of storage space in my house. I don't just slap something together just for the sake of putting something new out. I really want it to be something that I myself would want to purchase and display. And so to have people just share that appreciation, like I said, it's surreal, but so I've always just liked things that work. I'm a big watch fan. I've got a bunch of different watches, and if the watch has subdials on it, I want those subdials to actually do something. I don't want them to just be stickers. So I just want anything that I put on a piece to be able to do what you think it would be able to do if it's there. That's super important to me. I'm not going to put anything on there just for decoration purposes only. It's on there, it's going to work. If there's something I'm interested in, I dive completely into it until I learn all that there is to know about it. And so I was reading up on lamps and electricity and things like that, how to build them, and connections and safety. And so that's how I started. As I felt comfortable with that and I was learning more, that's how I was able to adopt functional gauges. Same thing with the outlet boxes. In that sense, I had a lot to learn as far as the mechanics of everything and the safety aspect of it. But the rest of it for me was pretty easy, as far as fitting the pipes together and kind of getting it to go the way I want and things like that. Some pieces I really can see clearly in my mind, and I actually sketch them out. And then other times I just kind of free flow. I'll just start assembling pieces and kind of see where it goes. It's interesting because you when you get to a point, you kind of feel where it's maybe a little forced. So you kind of take it back a little bit and rework it, and then it starts flowing again. And I've just come up with some really interesting final pieces just by free flowing like that. So it really just kind of depends. Some things really just kind of come to me. I had this one piece, I call it the Book Nook. It sold not too long ago, but that was one where one day I just kind of was sitting at home just thinking, and I just saw it from beginning to end right in my mind. And that one I sketched out, and when I finished it, it was identical to what I'd sketched. So, I had a desire, I had a need and a want for a particular style. I wasn't seeing it out there, and I could have just said, all right, well, I'll just get something else that's already made, it'll serve the purpose as a light. But I wouldn't have been happy with it. And so I figured, let me just see what I can do. And this is what's happened. So yeah, if anybody has a desire for anything, try and make it happen and see, because there's a lot of originality left to be revealed in the world. And right now I've got more ideas than I do time. Again, I had no idea that this was bottled up inside me. It's very fulfilling. I mean, there's been so many times where, you know, my wife and I would be at a store and we'd see something, I'd be like, oh, that's cool. I just wish it such and such. There's always something lacking or something that I wish it was a little different. And if you make it yourself, you can make it exactly as you want. And if you run into an obstacle, you can figure out a way around it to where it may not be exactly as you imagined, but it may end up even better than what you had in mind. I've had that happen where I had a goal and I was working toward it, and when I was there I was like, something's still not right, so I reworked it, and then the final piece I was like, wow, this is so much better. I'm so glad I didn't stick with what I had originally thought. You know, so you have to have that flexibility as well. But yeah, I mean, that's the best thing about making something yourself is you have complete control over the outcome of it, and you can make it just like you want it to be. This is really my passion. I didn't know I had a passion until I started doing this. I would love to do this full time someday. I just enjoy it. I love everything about it. I love going to shows and events, doing those things. I love being at the shop. I love building down here. And if you can get your home network to support you, then it's going to spread, because they're going to tell people, you know, their friends and family who aren't local, and it's just going to be easier to really make, you know, a living doing what you absolutely love to do.
Crow's Nest Artisanal Wares is located at 102 Burns Lane in Winter Haven and is open on Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. For more information, visit crowsnestartisanalwares.com. For our last segment this month, we're exploring the Lemon Street Promenade in downtown Lakeland. The Florida Outdoor Sculpture Competition is celebrating its 20th year in existence by showcasing another diverse array of sculptures for the public to enjoy. I got the chance to learn a little bit about the history of the competition with Beth Sherling from the City of Lakeland. Let's take a look.
I am Beth with the City of Lakeland, and we are here on Lemon Street, which is the home of the Florida Outdoor Sculpture Competition. It started all the way back in 1999 as a partnership with the City of Lakeland and the Polk Museum of Art. Through the years, it has provided an opportunity to bring in sculptures from all over the country to be displayed on Lemon Street for 1 year. Each year in the fall, we put a call to artists out. We use an application process called Cafe. The artists can submit up to 3 sculptures, and then through the end of the year, the sculptures have to be already completed. They have to be ready for outdoor use, specifically ready for potentially going through a hurricane in Florida. We take those applications through the end of the year. Once they're all submitted, representatives from Polk Museum of Art, City of Lakeland, and the art community come together and they look at the pieces and somehow magically narrow down anywhere from 60 to 90 different pieces to the ones that we get to see each year. And then the real competition happens though, once the sculptures are on, the City of Lakeland, we work with the community to choose a people's choice. There are a few different ways that you can experience the sculptures on Lemon Street. Obviously, you can come down and walk the 3 blocks between South Florida and Massachusetts of Lemon Street. Another option is you can access the website, which is lakelandgov.net/FLOSC. And from there, you can read different biographies, see photos, and you can access our GPS-enabled walking tour. So our GIS department has helped us create a story map, and you can do that at home or you can do that on the street. Another awesome option is you can download the AutoCast app, and we've partnered with them to create another GPS-enabled opportunity so that when you're walking down the road, it lets you listen to the artist of each sculpture talk about their piece. And just a little preview that there is at least one that may be done in robot voice. Each year, it's always interesting to see which actual sculptures get chosen, and it's a little bit of a logistical conundrum trying to figure out what fits where, how's it going to go. This year is exciting though because we have 2 from Polk County. On the corner of South Florida, we have Rusty the Robot. That artist is out of Lake Wales. And behind me, you can see we have Keith Williams, Seasons of Life, and he's straight out of Lakeland. And interesting, his bee over here is all made of apiary equipment that was also sourced locally in Polk County. So That's cool. And we have a peacock made out of forks and spoons. We have some dragonflies up in the air. So definitely some very interesting pieces and some things to see this year, as every year. As much as it's fun to see some of these pieces come from different areas of the U.S., it's always exciting to see pieces from our area, from Polk County, from Lakeland. So definitely make sure, look out for our social media in the fall, check our website for information. We would love to get as many applications and sculptures as we can check out when we're doing our jurying. Lemon Street Promenade actually is an awesome example of city planning and what can happen if you look at what you have and how you can make it better. Lemon Street Plan was a promenade actually didn't used to be this big. It used to be a sidewalk, just like a normal city block. And as part of a master planning piece in the 90s, the City of Lakeland grew it and created this very urban park setting to not only take advantage of what we've created here with this great tree canopy, but then also to use it as an opportunity to showcase sculptures and art in downtown Lakeland. Just, is how making all those little pieces fit over planning periods. The Florida Outdoor Sculpture Competition and the city's ongoing efforts to provide art in public spaces is such an interesting opportunity to bring art to the public who may not ever even think that they are art aficionados or that they know anything about art. It's so interesting as we're installing the pieces, just getting to see the community interact and say, oh, I hate that, I can't believe that anyone thinks that's art, or thinks, wow, there's a robot on South Florida, The other dynamic of the competition that's interesting is that really this kind of a competition or show or exhibit provides the artists an opportunity for their art to be seen. We have occasionally been able to utilize pieces that were here, that were brought here by the artists, to then purchase them and put them in some of our public spaces. The other thing that it provides is the artists can also potentially sell their pieces. The city only provides $1,500, which is used for travel expenses and installation expenses for the artists. So, especially if somebody's coming from another part of the country, that very seldom covers their costs. But we recently had somebody who asked on one of this year's pieces how to get a hold of the artist so that they could purchase the piece. So it not only is an opportunity for our community to have interaction with different kinds of art, it also provides these sculptors a forum to be able to share their art and potentially sell their art. The point of art and the point of art in our community and others is to really generate conversation and encourage us to interact with nature, whether that is in a static building or outside in a sculpture garden. So we hope that that's what we're providing, and we look forward to continuing to rotate and change this out every year.
For more information on the Florida Outdoor Sculpture Competition and to find out how to download the AutoCast app and GIS walking tour, visit www.lakelandgov.net/FLOSC. Well, that's all I have for this month. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time for more art out and about.